What's going on, everybody? Man, Eric Wilson in for a Monday night on the Sports Arena. Hey, we got another week or two, and then guess what? It is back to our favorite time of year, NFL. But we got a jam-packed show as always. So much to talk about, so much to get to. Let me go ahead and get the crew in here. Of course, my co-host, the man, sports reporter without pay, Mr. Ray Lynn's in the building. Good evening, sir.
What's up, man? You already know, bro. I'm ready to get to it. You already know. I'm ready to talk my stuff. You hosting. I mean, I get to talk my stuff tonight, bro. I get to talk my stuff.
Well, let's get one of your men in here who loves to combat with you on a weekly basis. This is our man, Mr. John Scheer, always in Miami here for the love of Jesus. John, what's up, man?
It's been a while since I got to talk about my teams. Whew, we're going to do a lot of that tonight, right?
Somewhat. But let me get our man, as Ray Lynn calls him, out there on the West Coast, the left coast, as he calls it, the best coast. Mike Caratanudo's in the house. What's up, Mike?
I never said it was the best coast. I just said it's a coast I'm in.
All right, well, fair enough. Hey, shout out to the Sideline Sports Network family, man. We got so much going on. Y'all don't even understand. And shout out to everybody who's been rocking with us as we continually elevate and get better and better and better. Gentlemen, I want to start the conversation tonight in a familiar/unfamiliar place, if you will. We all know that the Kevin Durant sweepstakes is going on right now. And there are teams vying for him. John's Miami Heat, Mike's Phoenix Suns, potentially my Philadelphia 76ers. Hell, there's even talk about them going out to Ray Lynn's Los Angeles Lakers. But the one team that has now thrown their name into the hat was the team that swept the Brooklyn Nets in the first round. That would be the Boston Celtics. So the Celtics are trying to acquire the services of one Mr. Kevin Durant. Ray Lynn, I'm going to start with you tonight on this Monday. You really, I mean, what does this mean if this was to happen and Kevin Durant was to actually go to the Boston Celtics?
Oh, well, let's start off with this. First off, I'm so sick of Kevin Durant. Like, I'm sick of him every other year crying about something. He's never happy. His team's never enough. He's been playing with Hall of Fame caliber, all-star, all-NBA talent, point guard, play his whole career from Russ to Steph to Kyrie with Harden. Like, he's had talent. He's just never happy. Like, he's a diva. Now, what is it? So let's start with Boston, right? Does it make sense for them to do this? Going after him makes sense. He's Kevin Durant. He's a phenomenal talent. All that stuff I said about him is true, but he's just phenomenally talented, right? He's one of the greatest talents we've ever seen. So, you know, it's like when the hot chick is single, you shoot your shot, and that's what it is. He's made the world known he's available, so Boston's shooting a shot. What would it mean? With what they're asking for, I think Boston would be worse. I think they would be worse. I've been on record for 2-3 years now as saying the hottest commodity in the league are young athletic wings, and Boston got two of the best in the game. And again, the deal has to start with Jaylen Brown. And now you done went and upset that dude now. Like it was chemistry issues already, and now like he's upset and he's tweeting, thought they loved you and all this crazy stuff. But if it were to happen, Boston would still be right there in the thick of things. But for what they may have to give up, I don't think they would be as good, like, because their calling card isn't to go out and just outscore you every game. Obviously, you had a Kevin Durant and that changes things, but they go out, they grit, they grind. They're like the old school grit and grind Memphis Grizzlies with way more talent, right? They're those guys with a Jaylen Brown and a Jason Tatum that can go and get you 30, right? But you got a bunch of guys doing dirty work. Robert Williams, you got Marcus Smart. They went and picked up White. They went and got Malcolm Brogdon in the offseason. They went and got Danilo Gallinari. Like, they have all the talent. Run it back. That's what I say. But if they get KD, it kind of boils down to what they give up. And starting with Jaylen Brown, that's a bad deal for me.
So kind of going along those lines, John, clearly we know what Tatum and Brown are together. Those two gentlemen, when healthy, playing on the same team, their basement has been the Eastern Conference Finals. They made it to the NBA Finals this year. Breaking them up, but now bringing in Kevin Durant. Ray Lynn said it doesn't make them better, but they're still in contention. We always talk about missing pieces. Could Kevin Durant, John Scheer, be the missing piece to get Boston their 18th world title?
Hey, Eric, before you give John the solo screen, you said Boston made the NBA Finals?
No, the Eastern Conference Finals.
But they made the NBA Finals
Did make
last
the
year, right?
NBA Finals.
Who
Yeah,
did
he
they?
said
They
that.
did make
He said
this year, but
This
with
year,
Brown
yeah.
and Tatum together, their basement has been the Eastern
No,
Conference.
I'm with you, but they made it this year. Who did they beat in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. You can put the camera on John. Go ahead. I didn't.
The
it's on
Lakers?
John.
Was it the Lakers?
It's on John. It's on John. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, because the Lakers did make the playoffs. I forgot about that. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense at all because you have a culture in Boston. You have a young team. Like, you have the chemistry. You have everything together. So, and you just got to the finals. You got lucky against the Heat getting to the finals. So, if you got so lucky, at least you got there, the 1 year you're going to get there. Why would you break that up? Like, you got to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, why would you break that up for Kevin Durant, who the only way he has won a championship is, you had to have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. Like, you had to have the ultimate team in order to win your only championships. You couldn't do it with any of these other talents, but then you're going to go to a team with basically just Jason Tatum, because no offense to those other guys, but we've seen KD he's not winning a championship unless he has all of the all-stars and all of the, all the first team pros. Like, you got to have guys like that for KD to win a championship. Do you really think he's going to be happy with basically just Jason Tatum? I don't. Like, I'm not saying that that's a bad combination, but the way KD works, I can't see him being very happy not having two more all-star, two more top-tier talents around him. And Jason Tatum would be the only one because you're getting rid of Brown and whoever else you're getting rid of just to get him into Boston. I can't see him being happy. Maybe he'll be happy the first year, but this is KD we're talking about.
All right, so let's break it down then, okay? You start your career referring to Kevin Durant in OKC. You had Russell Westbrook. You had James Harden. You went to the NBA Finals and you lost. So then what do? You go to Golden State. In Golden State, you have Klay, Steph, Draymond, Andre Iguodala. You win 2 titles. You're the MVP. And then from there, you go to Brooklyn. Now you go to Brooklyn. You're reunited with James Harden. Kyrie comes over there. And the 3 of you can't play more than 21 games together. Now, when you're on the floor and you're all healthy, yeah, you were great. But injuries and people didn't want to play, vaccination, this, that, and the third didn't work. So now KD is potentially on the move, excuse me, to his 4th team. And Mike, is it safe to say that KD just is unsure of what it is he's trying to accomplish here? Because, again, I go back to Ray Lynn's point from a couple weeks ago. All these other teams, all these other athletes are making this move and that move and this move and that move. Who are they chasing after? A team that's been consistent since 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020 in the Golden State Warriors. So, Mike, talk to me, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're KD going to Boston, if I'm Boston, I mean, if I'm Jaylen Brown, yes, I get that, KD averages 28 a game for his career. But if you're giving up Jaylen Brown, like you said, to take away from Jason Tatum and what they've built up, I mean, how are you going to change your offense? So that's one red flag to me with Boston. But they're dangling Jaylen Brown out there because those are the rumors every time I saw him coming out of Boston or wherever, especially trade deadline the last few years, Eric, I always said that, why do you want to break them up? Like, oh, they can't play together. And I've said it on this show. It's the dumbest thing I heard. So if I'm Boston, I mean, yes, do you want to tweak and add and try and improve your team? Because obviously it wasn't lucky they beat Miami. They beat Miami. Miami couldn't deliver. So, but then you look at KD and, yeah, I mean, look, Kyrie gets traded to Brooklyn. He wants to go play with his friend, Kyrie. He was tired of Draymond's antics, all that reporting and this and that. And I mean, if he wants to be an assassin, that's fine. Look, I have no problem with him jumping teams. And again, but when you have 4 years left in your contract, if I'm the Nets, I squash all this. He could come the day after. I just find it very curious because to me, it just points to he's probably tired of Kyrie stuff like Harden was. The day after Kyrie opts in, he says he wants to be traded. He's got 4 years left. If I'm the Nets, man, sorry, we ain't trading you.
So, Mike, hold on, because you just said something. You said you're actually okay with KD jumping from team to team to team.
Well, yeah, because LeBron did it first, but like LeBron got
this
hit.
ain't about LeBron, though.
No, I know it's not about LeBron. I'm saying, but like LeBron set the tempo for. No, I'm not picking on him. He set the tempo for it. You go to the timeline, and yeah, did Cleveland do enough to keep him there? I'm not saying they did, but LeBron made a spectacle out of the whole decision thing. Yes, it raised $3 million for the Boys and Girls Club, which is phenomenal. But like he went to Miami, and then he comes back, Cleveland wins, and then he keeps doing those 2-year deals to where he has to opt in, and then he can get more money. Great, and then he goes to LA because he wants to go to LA. So that's fine if players want to do it. I mean, again, I get times have changed, and yes, back in the day, you're right. You always heard Larry Bird and Magic Johnson saying, "I want to teamed up with him. I wanted to beat his ass." That's. Again, they drafted teams. There was no free agency. Yes.
Time out, Mike. I don't even know what point you're. You out? Which side of the fence are you on right now?
Well, Eric said, "Am I okay with it?" I'm just saying. A lot of people aren't okay with jumping teams. LeBron set the tempo.
Yeah,
the stage for that. So if he wants to jump teams every 3 years, that's on him.
So what you're saying is you don't have an opinion. You're just going because LeBron did it, right? Because
my opinion is, if I'm the Nets, I already said I'd tell you. You're not
about the Nets. We're talking about whether or not you, as a fan, media analyst, are okay with the idea of KD jumping from team to team. You say, well, LeBron did it. Bro, I served 13 years in the military, and the dumbest answer any of my young Marines could ever give me, you'd be like, hey, why'd you do that? I don't know. That's the way we've always done it. So you really don't know why you're doing it. You're just doing it because other people did it. So you're saying it's okay for KD to do it because LeBron did it, right?
No, I'm saying why is it okay for KD to get crushed when everybody understands they were up 3-1 on Golden State, and then he goes to Golden State. So KD just figured if he didn't want to play with Russ anymore, he didn't want to play with Russ. That was his thing. He wanted to go. He didn't want to play with Draymond anymore. There's
a humongous difference between not wanting to just play with Russ. Kevin Durant could have went to any team in the NBA, and he went to the team that just won 73 games. That's the team he went to. And then he left that team and said, I need Kyrie, I need James Harden, I need DeAndre Jordan. While you at it, go get Blake Griffin. Go get LaMarcus Aldridge too. Go get Paul Millsap too. Go get Patty Mills too. I need all them guys. Guess what? I ain't happy no more. Harden gone. Bring me Ben Simmons. I'm still not happy. This guy's never going to have enough. Never going to have enough.
Probably won't have enough. But to your point, to Eric's question, am I okay with it? No, I'd want to compete against you, yes, and win.
All right, let's stop right there. So why you get that dumb answer about, well, LeBron did it? You just said you ain't okay with it. Just don't be okay with it.
LeBron was the first guy to be like, I'm leaving Cleveland. Cleveland could have offered him more money. He went down to Miami. He won titles. He came back to Cleveland, won one title, and then went to L.A. So
what you're saying, I just want to make sure I understand. Live on a Sports Arena on a Monday night, July 26th, you're saying, me, Michael Cartenuto, I'm not okay with it, but LeBron did it, so oh well. That's what you're saying?
No, I'm saying LeBron. I said I wouldn't do it. Okay with it or not doesn't matter. It's his money. It's his career. Do what you want. But LeBron set the stage for that.
None of this stuff matters. We just talking sports, but we wanted to know your opinion. Give it.
I told you, if I'm the Nets, and my initial opinion from the beginning is if I'm the Nets, you're not getting traded. You have 4 years left on your deal. Don't show up. You're getting fined. That's my opinion.
All right. That's what we needed. Mike. And that's what we got. So that's what I needed. All right. So with that being said, we're going to take a 30
Lions cup.
He holds up that Lions cup with pride.
We're going to take a real quick break because we got to show love to all the shows, part of the Sideline Sports Network family, and we'll be right back. And welcome back to the Sports Arena on a Monday night. Sorry, I just keep getting messages here. All right, gentlemen, let's transition to what we love, and that is the NFL. Not saying we ain't got love for the NBA, MLB, NHL, WNBA, which we do. But listen, it's the NFL. We got to talk about it. So I want to ask this question. Bill Belichick, arguably the greatest head coach in all of the NFL. Arguably. That's a debate for another time. However, Bill, I think, is trying to do a little too much because currently the New England Patriots do not have an offensive or defensive coordinator. Bill is, I guess, trying to run the whole entire ship. He's not only going to be, or is, the general manager. He's also the head coach. And I guess now, or until it is discussed at a later date or announced at a later date, he is the offensive and defensive coordinator of the New England Patriots with second-year quarterback Mac Jones. So, gentlemen, what in the world, John Scheer, is Bill Belichick trying to accomplish right now?
If I had to guess, he doesn't want to pay his offensive and defensive coordinators like offensive and defensive coordinators, so he's just stripping away the title and making them do the same work. I still think they're going to do the same amount of work, just they're not going to get paid like an offensive or defensive coordinator. So that's what I think is happening here.
Interesting. Ray Lynn, I understand wanting full control of the situation and being the individual who gets to run it his way and basically not be a dictator, but in some regards have that autonomy. You know, it's like, what's his name from, we always call Bill Belichick the Dark Lord, the Sith Lord or whatever. He has like that unlimited
Emperor
power,
Palpatine.
you know,
Emperor
Palpatine. Thank
yeah.
you. But Raylan I don't help me make sense of it because it doesn't seem to make sense. I understand. Listen, you lost Josh McDaniels. You got Matt Patricia. You got Joe Judge. Is it about title or is it about just Bill Belichick wanting to control all the reins? Or is it that he doesn't trust the people who are slated to be in those positions?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. First and foremost, when you're Bill Belichick, you've earned the right to kind of pull any string you want to, and we just have to kind of wait and see how it's going to play out, right? Like we all talked about the Patriots taking Mac Jones where they took him in the draft, and where did you see them at the end of the season? Right where the Patriots always are, in contention. Like he's a genius. He's earned the right to just accept any move he makes and just roll with it. But question for the panel, and you could put it back on the 4 box. Who was the Patriots defensive coordinator last year? And the year before that, and the year before that, and the year before that. Ever since Matt Patricia left and came over to my Detroit Lions, who's been the Patriots defensive coordinator? That's right. They haven't named one. They haven't had a defensive coordinator in 5 years. And the last time, as a matter of fact, Bill Belichick has coached for 23 years. In 8 of those seasons, he either didn't have a defensive coordinator or an offensive coordinator. I think it might even be 12. I think it was 4 times on offense, 8 times on defense or something like that. And guess what happened the last time the Patriots didn't have an offensive or defensive coordinator? Back in 2010. They went 14-2. So, like,
that isn't happening again.
That's not the point. I'm saying he's earned the right, right?
No.
Like, put it like this, John. When you say that's not happening again, you think if they had one, it was going to change something, right? You're not saying the lack of right. I'm saying, but you're not saying the lack of an offensive or defensive coordinator is the reason they're not going to win 14-2. You're looking at the team, right? So I'm simply saying the last time they didn't have either one, they went 14-2. If the team is good enough, they're going to win games.
They also had Tom Brady back then too.
Man,
that helps.
Tom Brady had a whole lot around him. That's a whole nother conversation, right? But like you said, what's probably going to happen is some linebackers coach is going to do all the work of a defensive coordinator, right? Some wide receivers or quarterback coach or whoever is going to do a lot of the offensive coordinator stuff. They're just not naming a guy. But again, it's only a story now because somebody decided to make a story. He haven't had a defensive coordinator in 5 years. Okay. And there's been 4 other instances where we didn't have an offensive coordinator. So, I mean, he's Bill Belichick. He's earned the right to do whatever he want to do.
No.
All right. So, Mike, let me go to you because not saying that John and Ray don't know this, but you and I have talked for over a decade and a half. So we have talked a lot of football. And I actually had to go back and look. Do you know there was another coach who at some point in time did not have an offensive and defensive coordinator? And that man's name just so happened to be Bill Parcells. And we know the historic career of Bill Parcells. So is Bill Belichick following in his mentor's footsteps?
I mean, possibly, but somebody's going to be calling the defenses. I don't think he's going to be calling it every week. I mean, Matt Patricia, though, is on the offensive side of the ball now because when you look at what their team, he's a senior, football, his title is senior football advisor / offensive line. So, And then Joe Judge is working with quarterbacks. I mean, he was a special teams coach before. Not that Judge can't work with quarterbacks, but I just think, I mean, maybe he is a little bit for a pay thing. I mean, possibly. I mean, both his sons coach on the defensive side of the ball. So, I mean, is he going to be calling in the beginning of the season? Maybe. I mean, his press conferences, as you know, are always so great. He said, well, he's like, oh, we're not worried about titles right now. It could change tomorrow. It could change the next day. So, I mean, and I know, I mean, Brian Flores called a good amount of the defense when he was there after Matt Patricia, although, as Ray said, not listed as a defensive coordinator. But yeah, I mean, look, as much as it pains me, he's earned the right to do what the hell he wants. If it's going to work for him, and if it works for the team, and the coaches obviously aren't complaining, it's not like they're storming into Robert Kraft's office saying, give me a raise, give me the title. So I just think, again, is it a little bit of cockiness? Sure. Has he earned it? Sure. But we'll see what happens. And it keeps people guessing, because then you can say, oh, well, Belichick might do this, or Patricia would do this. He's working on the offense. Well, what's his son going to do? So, I mean, I guess if he feels it gives him a little bit more of an advantage, sure.
Okay. I'm just very curious at the fact that, in a day and age where, and Mike, I'll use your word, the Q word, if you're qualified, why would you not be in that position?
Absolutely.
But to Ray's point, if you're Bill Belichick, you have earned that right. I mean, listen, 10 Super Bowls, 6 rings. 9 Super Bowls, 6 rings. And John, you're shaking your head no. But you're the guy who always wants to preach about what has a person done. Look at their history. Let's look at their stats. Let's look at their legacy. But you're saying in this instance, you're not going to be on that side?
Everybody ignores what Bill Belichick hasn't done since Tom Brady left. Yeah, they got to the playoffs last year, but look at the bad draft. He's only been
going 2 years. He's been going 1 season.
He's been going 2 years.
He was going 2 years.
2 years. And this is the 3rd year he's going into it. Nobody's talked about the bad drafts he's had. Nobody's talked about these bad free agency pickups, overspending on guys. Like, nobody talks about that because Bill Belichick has won all these Super Bowls.
About bad first-round picks and getting rid of first-round picks. So, I mean, when you say nobody, again, I get it because he gets the benefit of the doubt. But
he gets the benefit of the doubt on everything.
They've been ripped on a lot for drafts.
Like, everybody's like, oh, well, he's Bill Belichick. He can do whatever he wants. Like, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, no, he should have to pay the price when he has these bad drafts, when he has these bad pickups. Like, I'm not buying into what they're doing with Mac Jones and all this stuff. Like, it's fool's gold in New England, and y'all are just buying into it.
Oh, you bought into Tua, so there's even bigger.
That has nothing to do with the Patriots. It has no relevancy on what the Patriots are doing.
I want to stick with that, John, really quick. So you're saying that, granted, Bill Belichick has made some, we'll say, not so great first-round draft picks. Mm-hmm. But you're saying with Mac Jones, when everything was sorted out and the dust settled and the smoke cleared, Mac Jones was your guy. Mac Jones was also the guy, and I know, Ray, you're going to come at me with this, but facts are facts. He was the guy who did beat Buffalo. Granted, he only threw...
Stop
3 for 4 and 19 yards.
3 for 4,
but at the end,
I
said, "What did I just say?" That I just stop repeating me and listen.
Man,
my point is, at the end of the day, the win column is going to have Mac Jones's name and not Josh Allen's.
Eric, ask yourself what happened in that playoff game. Go watch that playoff game between when the conditions didn't affect as much.
But John,
that's what actually happened.
Were the New England Patriots in the playoffs? Yes or no?
Yeah, they were. So were the Pittsburgh Steelers, right?
No.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Steelers got in too.
They were.
They got in too. Like, big
they got in. Okay. Well, listen. My point to you is, if you look at the resume of Bill Belichick with the New England Patriots, okay, he was the head coach when they won those championships, and now after COVID, and he still made it back to the postseason with a rookie in Mac Jones, now going into his 2nd year. So you can't ignore. You have to give him, John, at some point, you have to give him his due.
For the past,
because
I don't think he's done a very good job post Brady. I just don't like what he's done with the team. I don't like the pickups. I don't like the draft picks. Like, I think he's done a poor job, and because he's Bill Belichick and he's brought that franchise all them Super Bowls, everybody just completely overlooks. If anybody else did what he did with N'Keal Harry, which was a complete bust, other coaches would be getting ripped for that, but nobody talks about that. Like he's had.
Okay.
I mean, you overpay for what? Nelson Aguilar?
All right.
Old
Yeah, but you
Soviet?
don't think his track record
Come on,
matters?
man.
His track record doesn't matter?
But that totally that negates everything. It seems like everybody just
Wait.
gives him the benefit
Because
of the
he
doubt.
overpaid
in the
for
past.
Nelson Aguilar, that negates his
For
6
Hunter
Super Bowl
Henry, for
rings.
Nelson Aguilar, for the guy from Tennessee, the tight end from Tennessee, that's always injured.
Answer the question, John. Him overpaying for Nelson Aguilar negates his 6 Super Bowl rings.
That's what I'm saying. Is like because he's won the
So you're saying yes to
Super Bowl rings. Nobody pays attention to the bad things that he's done post Brady. Like it just gets overlooked. If you look
You're
into
talking
football,
about a
it's more than
small
just
sample
he made
size.
the playoffs.
It's a small sample. It's Eric's saying it's a small sample. Like every coach screws up. If you have that much success and the defenses, again, Eric knows how much I hate Brady because I love the defensive side of the ball. Everybody knows that. Not a surprise here. But those defenses they had in the beginning, they were top 5 defenses in those Super Bowls. And even when they've lost in Super Bowls, they've had top 5 defenses. Like there's a team around them. So yeah, I'm going to oversign him for one guy. And then, and John, most of the time, it's not even drafting in the first round. I mean, you look at that stretch, I think they were showing in the draft. I think it was from don't quote me the exact years, but around 2008 to 2014, they traded out of the first round most of the time. They're like, no, we don't want to make a trade. I mean, you can thank the Patriots for, what's that? Because they made the trade with the Ravens to get back in the first round, and they took Lamar Jackson. You can thank the Patriots for that. So he traded out of the first round. So yeah, I mean, you can say, oh, the drafts haven't been the best, but you could go through so many teams' drafts and say that. But when you win that much and you have defenses that play that well together, and they're doing it at a high level, and you have a quarterback like Brady and guys that were rushing for 1,000 yards in the beginning, receivers that are playing defensive back.
See, all these comments is exactly what I'm trying to. That's my point. You're proving my exact point, Denzel and Mike. Exact point is you're looking at everything he's done in the past. That has no relevancy on what he's done.
How does it not have any relevance?
That has no relevancy because that doesn't affect the guys that are on this roster. That has no effect on these guys on the roster. Doesn't affect them at all. He needs to build a championship level team.
I'm going to have a moment because anybody that was Lawrence Taylor's defensive coordinator and turned Lawrence Taylor was a sick talent, but to turn Lawrence Taylor into what he did, him and Parcells, he can make 100,000 mistakes, and I'll still say he'll get the benefit.
That's my point, Mike. Thank you.
But it doesn't matter because
I can't wait to the next topic. I can't wait to the next topic.
We're not even going to waste no time. We're going right into it. So we're staying in the NFL. And I'm going to use Ray Lynn, who so eloquently put this segment together for us. So shout out to the Sports Reporter Without Pay. I'm going to give you 2 lines that were said over the past couple of weeks. I want y'all to tell me which one is more egregious than the other. Is it Davante Adams saying that Derek Carr is a Hall of Fame quarterback, or Tyreek Hill saying that Tua Tagovailoa is the best quarterback he's played with? Mike Caratenuto, I'm gonna start with you.
Did he say he's the most accurate, or did he say he's the?
He said
fine. Excuse me, the most accurate quarterback.
Okay,
Let me be correct in my verbiage. Thank you very much, Mike Caratenuto. Please, which one was more egregious?
Yeah, I'm until a quarterback proves it, I'm gonna go with what Tyreek Hill said, and it's not even to pick on John. I mean, look, I like Derek Carr. Me and Tyree have had this conversation. I mean, you look at his when quarterbacks get looked at. Yeah, okay, did you win Super Bowls? Okay, but if not, where are you numbers wise? Derek Carr's just been that guy. He's in a crap situation with John Gruden the year before and this past season. So, look, I know Tyreek Hill's trying to bump up his quarterback. Everybody's talked about that ad nauseum. But it's you have Patrick Mahomes. You went from a Ferrari to a 1971 Gremlin. I'm sorry. I can't. And if he proves me wrong, fine. I mean, he still has to try and jump Justin Herbert. He's not going to prove me wrong in a year. So it's. I mean, what Patrick Mahomes has been in the AFC Championship every year of his career. Okay, but you say he's not accurate, Tyreek. Okay.
Except his rookie year.
Well, he didn't start his rookie year.
I was just
Every
going
year
by
he
what
started. Every year he started, he's been in the
Hey,
game.
Eric, you muted.
No, let him go. He
Thank you, sir.
in here.
I'm going to go to John. I'm going to give John his moment here because I know he wants to talk about it. John Scheer, which statement was more egregious?
I think anybody saying Carr is a Hall of Famer is just one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Like, this has nothing to do with Tua. Like, Carr isn't even close to being a Hall of Famer. Like, how could anybody ever say that? At right now, this point, how could anybody in this world say, yeah, that guy's close to being a Hall of Famer or he is a Hall of Famer? Like, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Like, you look at that man's career, get the hell out of here. Like, that's
Really?
That's so stupid. Nothing to do with my team. Like, you really think Carr's a Hall of Famer? You think he's up there with the greats like Peyton Manning and all those guys? Like,
His
hell
career's not
no.
done. I don't
Get
judge a
outta
guy.
here.
I don't judge a guy till his
That's
career's
so
done. I know what
stupid.
Devontae
No, but
Adams
he
is
said
saying,
right now.
because it's
right?
because it's his teammate.
He
Hey.
said-
All right.
I'll let
Ladies and
Ray
gentlemen,
go because honestly,
We are
like,
back in
Look, I
13
love
seconds
Eric,
with
but
the
I'm not
sports
gonna
reporter
say-
without pay.
I'm not gonna say.
Yeah. Listen, did y'all see like John really tried to give that take with like some enthusiasm? Like he really believed what he was saying. He was like, oh, come on, Derek Carr. I can't believe he said that. Because he don't want to admit that Tua is atrocious. He just don't want to come out and say that. By the way, real quick, I like looking at the comments. Denzel, as long as you understand, he didn't say Derek Carr was better than Aaron Rodgers. What Devontae Adams said is, I'm transitioning from one Hall of Fame quarterback to another. He didn't say he was better than Aaron Rodgers. So let's start here. We get it. We got two elite receivers in the game, going to new teams, new quarterbacks, and they're leaving probably the two best quarterbacks in the game, right? So they get to these teams. Obviously, those quarterbacks know the kind of pressure that's on them, right? Because if these guys don't perform with them, now it's going to look like, oh, we couldn't get it done with these guys when they've already shown that they can. So they trying to build these guys up, give them some confidence, things like that. Devontae Adams at least has this going for him. That's his guy, right? They played together in college. And Derek Carr at one point, people don't remember, a couple years ago, was an MVP candidate. Is he a Hall of Famer? No, we all know that. But to leave from playing with Patrick Mahomes and go play with Tua, I can't hit a wide open target, listen, to say this is the most accurate quarterback you've ever played with, a guy who's not the second or third most accurate quarterback in his draft class, like he was with Burrow and he was with the boy out of, y'all know what I'm talking about, with the Chargers, right?
Herbert.
Most accurate, Justin Herbert, and y'all know who I'm talking about, Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. He's not even the most accurate quarterback in his draft class, right? Like, come on, let's be for real, man. Tua is horrible. Like, this is a guy who was so good. They started Ryan Fitzpatrick over him. Come on, man. Get John back on the screen. I want to see John's face while I talk about it.
Hold on.
Tua's horrible. For
the
Tyreek
third
Hill,
highest completion percentage of passes, 20 or more yards downfield. Tua was
listen.
third in the NFL. Third.
Listen, man. Listen.
There's only two quarterbacks above
You
him.
don't leave from playing with Patrick Mahomes to go play with Tua and
No.
oh, this is the most accurate quarterback I played
I
with.
just gave you.
Man,
He
I
had
don't
the
care
third
about
highest
that
completion
statistic.
percentage.
I don't
passes
care about
20 or more yards.
Tua's horrible. How about that statistic?
There's
Tua's
only
horrible.
two quarterbacks better.
You say what?
Two quarterbacks better at throwing passes 20 or
He
more
got
yards down the field.
he got two quarterbacks better than him in his draft class.
No, but answer this.
Let me ask you a question, John. Let me ask you a question right now. AFC.
He said accurate.
Answer this question. Tua is the number blank quarterback in the AFC.
Tyreek Hill talked about accuracy. This is
Tua
all about
is
accuracy.
the number blank accurate quarterback in the AFC.
Best. He didn't
Fine.
say he was better than Mahomes. He
Right,
said
right.
accuracy.
More
He's one of
accurate,
the
right?
most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL.
And you really believe that? You believe he's not just hyping
Yes.
them? Because John, be for
accuracy
real, man.
wise.
Why you get
That
on this
is
show
his
and lie,
strength.
man? You know what? You know what? I get it. Because you really talk that stuff like Miami is going to win. And you talk this stuff about Tua last year like he's really a good quarterback.
No,
When
but
he's
if you
not.
look at his statistics, he's one of the highest accuracy
Man,
quarterbacks.
stop this foolishness, John. You know that was crazy for that man to leave from playing with Patrick Mahomes and get to play with Tua, talking about this the most accurate quarterback.
I'm just responding to Tyreek Hill's comments, and he's not wrong.
He is wrong. He's
Not about the
dead
accuracy.
wrong. And you only gonna go
Stats
along
don't
with it because
lie.
you wearing that funny little teal shirt. Stop this foolishness, John. You know better.
Why don't you bring up that mug again?
Man, listen, you already know what it is. My quarterback just won a Super Bowl, dog.
Look, your lines are so embarrassed they disappear.
My quarterback won
Yeah,
a
for
Super
a different
Bowl.
team.
My
Oh,
quarterback won a
man.
Super Bowl.
Man, that's like saying your ex broke up with you, went and slept with another man, and you're like, hey, slept
Hey,
with
look,
somebody,
at least she
but
happy.
But at least you got some.
Hey, listen. You seen the commercial where he was like, so you can leave one team, even though you really love that team, and go to another team and have success? He got love for us, dog. And this ain't about Matt Stafford, Super Bowl
You just
champion,
made
should
it
have been
about
Super Bowl
him.
MVP. This is about Tua. This is
is
about
Tua. And look,
I tell you, my
talk to
quarterback
me in
won a
8
Super Bowl.
years. Talk to me in 8 years about Derek Carr, maybe or maybe not being a Hall of Famer, because every year he stays healthy and is competitive. The year he got hurt, they were a Super Bowl favorite. Oh, but he can't play. Then he can't play for John Gruden.
Get away with
Then
eight
he can't.
quarterbacks.
Then,
Ain't nobody talking bad about these two.
Then he takes him to the Super Bowl, goes into Indianapolis.
Whoa.
Ain't nobody talking about
playoffs.
Whoa, excuse me.
Nobody talking about Dak or Jalen Hurts.
What you mean? We ain't even.
I'm just saying you guys are getting away with a lot tonight whenever I have to.
How are we
compare
getting
them.
away with a lot?
Anything?
This ain't got nothing to do with us.
The question
just
was,
saying.
with us, John.
Tua's not even better than Herbert. Tua's gonna fine when he craps the bed with all this around him. I want to hear but he threw these 20 accurate passes, 20 yards down the field. But Mahomes has 5,000 yards, and Rodgers has 5,000.
Why are you getting on us, John? That's what
I'm
I
just
want to know.
saying,
What did we do to you?
This guy to my right is getting on me about my quarterback, but we
Because
ain't said a thing
the
about
statement-
that.
Carr's
Because
not.
the statement
he
was
has
made
to
about
do his
your
career.
quarterback, John.
If Carr wins more and keeps doing it, Carr could be a Hall of Famer. It's not out of the realm. Tua, like Ray said, has to prove he's even good. He got pulled for Ryan Fitzpatrick because Brian Flores didn't want him.
Let's be for real. Let's call a spade a spade. If Tyreek Hill had come from maybe 20 other teams in the NFL, if he didn't come from Kansas City, if he didn't come from Green Bay, if he didn't come from maybe Buffalo with Josh Allen, right? This comment might have made sense. But you come from playing with the best quarterback in the NFL and get to your new team and instantly say he's better at anything than the guy that I just came from. It's ridiculous. And it sounds stupid. You sound real foolish coming to play with Tua and saying he's better at Mahomes at anything. He can't hold that man jockstrap. Stop being foolish, John. Stop being foolish. Don't do that.
He's not wrong about the accuracy.
Mahomes is better at no-look passes than Tua is at regular passes. Mahomes is better throwing left-handed than Tua. Newsflash, he's right-handed.
We'll find out this year when he has no Tyreek.
When they lose 8
Don't
in a row
worry,
to
that's
Buffalo
the
Bills.
next topic. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna kill that nonsense.
Thank you, Ray and John, for teeing that up beautifully. So that is my next topic. Our next topic here tonight on the Sports Arena, part of the Sideline Sports Network family. Oh my goodness,
fired.
Folks! It's only Monday. Okay, so Aaron Rodgers no longer is playing with Devontae Adams. Patrick Mahomes no longer playing with Tyreek Hill. Who is going to have a better year since losing what I am calling their security blanket? Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes? Ray, I'll start with you.
Let's start. I'm glad you started with me. All right. First off, Aaron Rodgers has shown year in, year out that no matter who you put on that field with him, he's going to be Aaron Rodgers. He made us believe that numerous people were elite receivers, and then when they left, you found out that wasn't the case, right? All the greats have done that. Like Tom Brady, no matter who's on that field, Tom Brady was going to be good. Peyton Manning made us believe Brandon Stokely was elite, and he really wasn't, right? So Aaron Rodgers will be fine. Patrick Mahomes will be fine. With the question being who's going to have the better season. For people that believe that Tyreek Hill is somehow he makes Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to take y'all back to 2019, a couple years ago. Tyreek Hill plays game 1. He misses games 2, 3, and 4. In game 2 of the season, Patrick Mahomes goes for 443 yards and 4 touchdowns. A guy by the name of Demarcus Robinson that we never heard of had 6 receptions for 172 yards. They go into game 3. Mahomes goes for 374 and 3 touchdowns. A guy by the name of McCole Hartman, who we hadn't heard of, had 97 yards that game. They go into game 4. Patrick Mahomes goes for 315. Like, it doesn't matter who's on the field. Patrick Mahomes plus Andy Reid equals a bunch of yards, equals a bunch of touchdowns, and Travis Kelce's still there. Oh, and by the way, in the offseason, they went out and got Juju Smith-Schuster, who I think is going to have a resurgence in his career and that offense with the best quarterback in football. Aaron Rodgers is great, but Patrick Mahomes is by by far the best quarterback in football. People saying the gap is getting smaller. No, it's not. Josh Allen's not close. Aaron Rodgers isn't close. Lamar Jackson isn't close. Patrick Mahomes might be the best player of the position I've ever seen. It doesn't matter who's on the field with him. He is going to be great because he's just that good. So Aaron Rodgers will be good this year. Patrick Mahomes will be better.
John Sher, you're shaking your head. Go ahead. Who's going to have a better year?
Of course he's shaking his head because he thinks two is good.
Of course, Aaron Rodgers is going to have a better year. I mean, Patrick Mahomes just lost a 3-time All-Pro, 6-time Pro Bowler, and you really expect him to have the same type of season, Ray? Like, what are they going to do for 17 games when Travis Kelce's doubled? He's going to get his yards, but who else is going to catch the ball? Juju? We saw what happens when AB isn't there. Like, get out of here. He's too busy worrying about TikToks. Like, you're really feeding me Robinson and Mecole Hardman? Those guys are trash, man. Like, get out of here with that nonsense. Then that running back group, like, CEH is a disappointment in the backfield. Like, there's not a whole lot there besides Travis Kelce. Like, I've watched that position group for a while. Without that 3-time All-Pro, Patrick Mahomes is going to hurt. Like, he's not going to be able to play the Ravens and get like that miracle pass to beat the Ravens to Tyreek Hill like he did. He's not going to get those miracle plays.
Hey, John,
like he always does.
You know those 3 games I just read off? One of them was against the Baltimore Ravens. Did you know that?
Yeah. Look at
when he went for 443.
Look at how many games they won against the Ravens where it was a 4th down pass and Tyreek Hill saved their bacon when the game was over if he didn't catch it on a deep pass downfield. You don't have that with Travis Kelce. He's not going to have there's not a burner that's going to catch a 50-yard touchdown like that. Like, you don't have that. You lose a 3-time All-Pro, it's going to hurt.
Talk to him, Mike. I see you shaking
Who took
your head.
Devontae Adams' spot in Green Bay?
Aaron Rodgers back-to-back MVP. I don't have to worry about him. Patrick Mahomes has had Tyreek Hill's whole career. Aaron Rodgers, he just keeps going no matter who he gets. I mean, you guys said it. No matter who he has, he's just proven.
I didn't say that. First of all,
we're gonna let Mike get in here. Mike, go ahead, man. Who's gonna have a better year?
I say Mahomes, and because first of all, and again, I'm not saying the numbers are going to be astronomically different, or he's going to have so much more than Rodgers, but I think it will be Mahomes because the Packers offensive line is still a question mark. Everyone says, oh, Rodgers this and Green Bay's this. Look, man, I'm not saying he's not great. I'm not saying he can't put numbers up. But John talks about security blankets. Well, his other security blanket, who I know, I guess, even though he's an NFL receiver, and since everyone else seeming to talk about it was an NFL receiver, Marquez Valdez-Scantling went over to the Chiefs. So, again, I'm not saying he's Tyreek Hill because I know he's not. But point in fact being, Ray Lynn took most of my notes. You have Andy Reid. Like, I get Matt LaFleur's done a good job, but you have Andy Reid. And I'm down with unfortunately, I've had to be down with Andy Reid for a long time because I know what it's like to deal with him. But that being said, like, Rodgers is going to have a Rodgers-type year. But the offensive line is still crap. But I know they'll make excuses for him just like they would for Brady, the offensive line, if he's not. And when Mahomes is blowing him away numbers-wise, and Kelce – he says, oh, it's just Travis Kelce. Yeah, too many people still haven't figured out how to cover Travis Kelce too well. So, and I did have I thought it was only 2 games that Tyreek was gone, but Ray busted out all 3. So again, yes, it does hurt to lose somebody like that. But Devontae Adams might not be faster than Tyreek Hill, but Devontae Adams was out for Aaron Rodgers. Now you put him in Vegas, and I don't see how Aaron Rodgers has the better year. I know. I've seen people saying, "Oh, he's going to win a 3rd MVP." It'll be Aaron Rodgers fatigue, so probably not, even if it's close. But I just don't see him having a better year than Patrick Mahomes. And yes, as last I checked, Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy are still coaching in Kansas City, right?
Yes, you're right. And so here's what I'll say with regard to this, because I am the one that asked the question, and I have to, if I got to talk it, I got to be about it. Clearly, the answer for me is, sorry, John, Patrick Mahomes. And it's based on the fact that we have seen what Patrick Mahomes has done coming into, he did sit, but then he just exploded onto the scene. And everything it's done, it seemed like every year he gives us a little more, gives us a little more, gives us a little more. Now, listen, I take nothing away from Aaron Rodgers, but Mike Patton made a very excellent point, so I want to put it up, and thank you, Mike, for doing that. Aaron Rodgers is in the NFC North. Ain't nobody scared of the NFC North. So Aaron Rodgers could coast, if you will. We know he's going to win the division. We fully anticipate, okay? We know that Chicago is still trying to figure out who they are and have some sense of identity. I am still saying until Minnesota gets rid of the walking piece of mediocrity that is Kirk Cousins, Vikings ain't going nowhere. Even though you have Dalvin Cook, even though you have Adam Thielen, you just shipped Kyle Rudolph to the Bucs. So what were you thinking when you made that move? And then, Ray, I love you, but we all know what the Lions are. You
Watch
said
your
it
mouth.
yourself here on the show.
Watch your mouth.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Listen. We don't do that here on the Sports Arena.
Okay, we won't do it. Fine, we will not do that. But my point is, Aaron Rodgers in that division, of course he's going to put up high numbers. Of course he's going to be successful. Patrick Mahomes is playing in what some of us are calling the toughest division in all of the NFL.
I know some of us.
I think the NFC West is, but I mean that.
No.
Seattle,
Sorry, the NFC. Russell just left the NFC West to come to Denver. Okay, we don't know what's happening between Jimmy G. You know, we're not even getting into that. You want to know when we talk NFC West? Stay tuned because that's coming up on August 10th when we give our preseason predictions for the NFC West. Shameless plug for the show, but it's Mahomes. Mahomes continually elevates himself as a leader, as an athlete, and as a quarterback, and that's why he is going to have a better year, even though he will not have Tyreek Hill as I'm saying, his security blanket. All right. We're going to show some love to my man, Byron from ASE 365. When we come back, we're going to wrap up the show talking a little bit about baseball, talking about a team that, listen, I'm not a fan of, but I have to show some support. I'll talk about it when we get back. More with the crew. Shout out to my man Byron from ASE365.com. Make sure you check out the website, man. He's got some Sports Arena limited merchandise on there for you. So our last topic here tonight on the Sports Arena with my man Ray Lynn, sports reporter without pay, Mike Harrison, Believe in the Pac-12, and Blue Hawk 13, John Scheer, Sideline Sports, and Oh, What a Show. Gentlemen, I said I was going to wait till August 7th to have this conversation, but seriously, at 59-37, I have to give some props to the New York Mets. Oh, that's a hard pill for me to swallow. Only harder pill to swallow is the Atlanta Braves and the Dallas Cowboys. Good God almighty. But since we are talking baseball, are the New York Mets this year, my baseball aficionado, John Scheer, are they for real, John?
Man, they just had a 10.5 game lead, and the Braves are like, nah, we're good. We're going to take 10 of that away. And this is only going to be a half game division lead for you Mets. Like, this is exactly what I was talking about a couple weeks ago, what the Mets would do, because this is a typical Mets thing to do. Hey, I have a big lead. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm just going to choke it all away. Hey, guess what? Jacob deGrom is coming back. Oh, nope, no, he's not. Got more tightness. Like, this is the Mets to a T. This is the Lions. This is the Browns. This is the Mets. These teams always do this in sports. Like, there's certain teams in sports. No offense, Ray. I'm not picking on you. There are certain teams in sports that always do this to you just whenever you think that they're going to lift you up, whenever you think, oh, man, my team finally got over the hump. The Mets are one of those teams. They'll always be that team. They blew a 10.5 game lead just in a couple weeks. And it's only up to, what, like a half game lead now, and the Braves are coming for them. The champs, the Mets, I don't believe in that. I never believe in the Mets. I don't care if they have a 25 game lead. Like, this is the Mets. They always find a way to choke it away. Always.
Okay. Mike Harrison.
Well, first of all, the Mets are up by 2 games over the Braves.
But it had gotten
I
down to a
don't
half
care
game.
what fine it was, and the Braves were champs. They should have won some games, but the Mets are still in first place, and they're right there. So inevitably, if they were not to win the division, and somehow the Braves not somehow, but if the Braves come back and win it, I mean the Mets would still. I mean, your Phillies are still have a fighting chance there, but I mean, wild card wise,
That's Nick Castellanos.
the Mets would be right there. So to me, that's again, I'm not going to say the Mets are the Mets. It's yes. I mean, have they been known to? Sure. And last year, again, they spent over 100 calendar days in first place. They went in first place in the middle of June, held it the rest of June, all of July, into the first week of August, rotated a little bit, and then obviously we know what happened after that. He's saying Jacob deGrom not come back. Yes, that would be huge. Yes, if they can push him off, and they can push it off if he's feeling tightness. Because look what Max Scherzer has done. In 4 starts, he's got what, like a 0.93 ERA, ridiculous. So the Mets will be hanging around. They've had the offense all year. If all their bats go to crap at once, which I guess could happen, but yeah, I mean, I'll say it's a race between them and the Braves, but I don't think the Mets are going to choke it away, especially with Max Scherzer pitching every 5 days. Not happening.
Raylan?
Well, I mean, like John said, they already choked it away. So if the question is, are the Mets for real? It depends on what we mean by for real. Like, they're for real in the sense that they're a really good team. Like, I don't think it was a fluke. I don't think it's a fluke that they're in first in the division. Like, they're a really good team. But it ain't no shoo-in that they're going to win that division. I think Denzel just commented they might close it out. Like, Eric, you said Atlanta's a tough pill to swallow. Well, guess who right on their heels? Atlanta is, right? I think their best shot is to win the division because if they you get into one of those one game, whatever, gets it like anything can happen, right? I don't want to see the Mets in the playoffs. Like if I'm 18, I don't want to see. You don't want to see Jacob deGrom, man, Scherzer in the series, right? Alonso's playing like an MVP, so they're for real. I don't think they're as good as the Dodgers though. Like so, I think it's a collision course. I think we're going to see the Mets and Dodgers in the NLCS. I think we're going to see Houston, New York in the ALCS, and I think it's going to be a New York Dodgers World Series. So yes, they're for real in the sense that they're very good. No, I don't think they're going to win the World Series. No, I don't think they're going to make the World Series. But again, you don't want to see them in a short series with Scherzer and deGrom. Like Scherzer might be the best pitcher in baseball, man. I can't believe we had him and Justin Verlander.
I want to thank you, gentlemen.
My Tigers as bad as my Lions.
Because I unfortunately, if the Mets are successful, I have to hear about it. And it's just something that I just don't want to have to listen to. Because I will be reminded on a daily basis about the Mets. So I want to thank you guys for restoring my faith. I appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about out of time here tonight on the Sports Arena. Gentlemen, we got about 2 minutes left. Anything really quick we want to talk about before we go? Anybody?
What? Yeah, Eric, thank you for bringing up baseball and putting me in a dark place again. First off, I just want to say John had the nerve to talk about my Lions as a team that builds you up and then never get it right.
I didn't.
When the Dolphins haven't won a playoff game since 2000. We could start there. But I would just like to say my Tigers are just as bad as my Lions. And do you know we had Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, Miguel Cabrera all at the same time? Like, you know that? And didn't win.
Sorry, World Series, didn't you? Didn't you win one?
No, we lost. We lost.
Okay,
we lost to the Cardinals and we lost to the Giants. And we went and got the other Cy Young winning pitcher. I don't know why his name escaping me right now, but we went into the playoffs with a rotation of Scherzer, Verlander,
Anibal Sanchez too, right?
No, Sanchez wasn't even in a rotation. He had led the league in ERA that year. We had Scherzer, Verlander, Porcello, who went and won a Cy Young, and
Prince Fielder.
You did have
not Prince Fielder. It's a pitcher. It's a pitcher. We went and picked him up mid-season.
But you did have Fielder.
It'll come to me later. It'll come.
You had,
to me later.
You had Dontrelle Willis, right?
No, it'll come to me here in a minute.
Willis.
I hope it comes to me before the show goes off.
You had all them Marlins.
All right. Well, I just want to say thank you to everybody. We'll be back on Wednesday. The Queen of Hoops will be with us, Megan Price, and one of these gentlemen will not be a part of the show. If I had my way, it'd be, I'd get rid of him. But then again, if I think about it, I don't like having two Cowboys people on my show at the same time, but I got to deal with them. So, I don't know what's going to happen. Hell, for all I might just say I'm not going to do it. But anyhow, for all of us at the Sports Arena, part of the Sideline Sports Network family, Mike Harris, Nudo, John Shear, my man, co-host Ray Lindy, man, Eric Wilson. Hey, we will talk to y'all on Wednesday. Everybody be safe. Hug your loved ones. Stay blessed. Peace.